time for the bottom line, Michael. We're going to cut that part out too.
Bottom line.
Just kidding. We don't cut anything, Josh. Well,
Nope.
Usually. So
bottom line.
Yeah, terrible twos, bottom line, insert joke here. And here we go. It's the final two questions of the show. Jen looks scared. Josh is excited. Michael's like, hey, been there, done that. So question number one is, on a scale of 1 to 10, Michael Kenyon Rosenberg, what would you give this first episode of Loki entitled Glorious Purpose?
Glorious Purpose, just like Jen referenced at the opening. So very clever there. Clever girl.
Clever girl.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. It's a Jurassic Park reference.
So I would give this first episode, Glorious Purpose of Marvel Studios, Loki, out of a 1 out of 10 rating. I would say, Loki, you are an 8. You're an 8. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not a good punster.
You're an 8. Oh,
I'm not a very good pundit.
It's kind of like if he was like Japan, you'd be like, urination.
But actually, if somebody asked me what I am, they'd be like, oh, European.
This is good. This is good stuff.
But yeah, I would give it an 8. It's a solid show. To me, there was that one part where it was a little bit confusing because I hadn't really recently rewatched those movies, but then I was able to piece it together, and very excited to see what happens. But maybe I'm getting into the second question, so I'll just stop.
Whoops. Josh, scale of 1 to 10.
Well, before I answer, I just want to comment on what Michael said about having not recently rewatched everything. I think that's what's great about the weekly schedule of the show as opposed to them being all available at once, because it will make us, when they show scenes from Dark World or Ragnarok, I think we're supposed to, in between while we're waiting till next week's episode, hey, let's check out Thor Dark World Ragnarok again. And
good point.
But I think I'm going to go with a 9.1. Yeah, that's my rating.
All right. That's a big
You
one.
should have did a pun. One of your puns that we missed before.
I would have, I could have done it, but I took so much time talking about the weekly release.
I think you need to do it. You could take some of my time.
Plus,
yeah, okay, so low-key,
please.
I low-key, I didn't low-key like it because I'm so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
It was great. 9.1. So low-key, it's more like high-key. Or it's like hello, Key.
Hi, Key.
Hi, Key.
But that also sounds like an opera singer.
Right.
Hello.
Right. But no more. Just once upon a time.
That was great.
Thank you.
That was also a 9.1.
Oh, okay. Keep going. You, Jen. What do you
Ryan's
think?
so charming. I never knew about his time in France. During all our time, I learning more about him than I do at our Cheesecake Factory lunches.
Sorry.
I want to come to the Cheesecake Factory lunch.
So do I.
You should.
Hello.
Do it. We probably won't be there, but yeah.
You better imagine
You'll
I'm
love
sitting there and you stand me up, both of you. I don't think Josh would do it, but Ryan would.
Ryan's a mystery.
He's a mystery.
You still haven't used magic or daring yet. Jen, speaking of daring, scale of 1 to 10, what do you think?
I thought I was going to be the highest and say a 9, but I think 9.1 beats me, but I'm going to give it a 9.2.
Whoa, competitive.
How daring.
No, I'll keep it. How dare, see, that was very daring of me.
See, that's
no.
spiteful.
It's spiteful.
That's spiteful.
I'll keep it at a 9 because I do love it.
No. 9.2.
I do love it, but
Why don't you just give it a 9.1 and you guys can
You can be
share
equal.
victory.
No,
And then go to
originally, before
Arkansas
any-
together.
And that's right. We have to make this movie together, so we have to be like on good terms. So I'm gonna keep it a 9. But
No,
9
but
originally-
there's gotta be conflict in the movie though. So
Guys,
True,
she's
but-
trying to be PC. The fact is she doesn't think it's good enough to be a 9.2, and she's just afraid to say that.
No, I'm just saying originally in my head before anything, I was like, I'm gonna give it a 9. So I shouldn't change it
All right. Agreed.
just to be spiteful.
Although Michael and friends have impacted my final points in the past.
I've seen that
they've
happen
bumped me up
recently.
or bumped me down. This time you guys have not. I am sticking
Oh,
with a 1 with a 6 point in front of it.
6.1.
Mhm. That's what I'm sticking.
Wow.
My heart was pounding. I was.
Josh was like, his heart dropped, his stomach dropped. He was like frozen for a
I was
minute.
having a panic attack,
I got very
anxiety. I was
Wow.
like-
now I feel terrible for having done that, and also kind of, want to do it again.
I'm proud of yourself.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like everyone was
6.1.
scared.
It was cool. I was going to give it a 6, and then this morning I was like, 6.1 feels right. It's an optimistic 6.
I liked it more. I said I watched it 3 times. It gets better each time.
Yeah, I
Um,
watched it twice.
Okay. And
Did it get-
wasn't the second time much even more
It was
enjoyable?
because you pick up more things, like so.
I'm
And
a
I
two I'm a
rewatched-
2-watcher guy to myself.
Yeah,
Michael, A2,
rewatched-
Michael.
Angie and I
Good
watched it.
watcher.
Angie and I watched it like Thursday night,
Mhm.
and then I just
Okay, so
rewatched
you
it
had
for
to-
the
okay.
podcast as well.
Was it better
so.
the second time?
See, maybe you should
Ryan.
watch it again.
What do you think?
Ryan.
Your 6.1 could become a 6.9.
Yeah, you never
Which is
know.
your favorite number.
With the period in the middle. So
6.9.
6.9, dudes.
yeah, Bill and Ted. All right. Question number 2. This is really the big one. Although
Yeah.
there's not a ton of mystery involved in this one.
No,
It seems.
I think
It's
I
an
could
e-
predict everyone's answer for this one
Yeah.
with confidence. I'll even bet $100.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. All right, go, Josh.
Okay, I predict I'm gonna watch the second one. I predict Jen's gonna say she'll watch the second one. I predict Michael's gonna watch the second one, and I predict Ryan's gonna watch the second one.
Ah.
Ryan's so embarrassed.
All right, here we go. Michael, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Loki entitled whatever it was, Glorious.
Glorious purpose.
Right. Now that the podcast is over and we're all free to move about the internet, would you, of your own volition, watch the second episode?
It's an easy yes. Yeah.
That's a point for Josh.
There's some mystery, some unanswered questions, and this first episode really it did it for me. It did it for me.
Really?
Yeah, I was stunned.
There was a fork in you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Josh?
I have to look at my calendar just to see how many times I could schedule repeat viewings for each episode. Because under my own free will and volition, even before, Ryan, when you asked me if I could be on this podcast, I already watched it.
So did
You
I.
So just
Such mischief. All right. Well,
Yeah.
that's 2 points for Josh. Jen, let's
You're
see
gonna
what
be
happens.
you're gonna be so surprised that I am gonna watch the second episode.
oh, you did a little
I
bit of
know.
What?
So surprised. Can't believe it.
Cue the guy from Disenchantment. Right?
It's so funny because usually when I'm on, you're always like, "Are you gonna watch the second episode?" And you're like, I already watched it. But this time, I
not
have
possible.
no choice. I have to wait.
It's not out yet.
Yeah, it's
It
not.
should be coming
By the
out the
time-
day that this podcast goes up.
Yeah.
Actually.
Mm-hmm. Well, to be honest, I'm very fence sitting on this one.
offensive.
Okay, that's good. We like it. But I'm gonna have to say yes, that I would not will watch the second, theoretically, barely, just because it was easy to watch. It was charming enough, and it didn't set up any expectations that I was let down upon or anything like that. You know, it just kind of did its own thing, and it didn't try to be or give the illusion that it was going to be something that it wasn't. So I was fine with it.
All right. Josh won $100, but who's going to pay him?
I don't know who's paying him, but he won.
Yeah, I don't think I'll
Hey,
ever see
everybody
it.
in the chat, is that? Oh, everybody in the chat is leaving. They're all saying not it right now.
I would have just thought it would have played that psychic. I would have said a 300. I could pretend like I only gave her
Right.
200.
Oh, you know what it is?
Ah.
We'll just buy you lunch at the Cheesecake Factory, and by we, I just guess I mean me.
And I'm
we'll-
coming, so you have to buy for me too.
Yeah. And
Oh,
can
did you
ship it
did
to
you
me,
win?
so-
Did you win? Yeah, Mike, you
I'm
get
a
goodies.
psychic.
Yes.
I knew already, so I didn't want to see.
I feel like if she manifested us all being here together, so I mean, we could just get one entree and split it. You know, I'll share mine. I'm a good sharer. Sharing is caring.
I want to,
So-
but I want to record the two of you deciding what you're gonna get and like squabbling over but also sharing the same menu and like kind of pointing at stuff
I think that'll be
as
fun.
part of, you know, one of your scenes in your movie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I'll be posting it on my Instagram story at Cheesecake Factory Lunch. So make sure you're
perfect.
following Mr. Josh Sussman.
Mhm.
I post
At
cheesecake.
Cheesecake Lunch Swindler.
Swindler. Swindler. I couldn't, if you didn't watch the second episode, if you wouldn't have, I didn't swindle. I made a guess, fair and square.
Swindler's Guess. Okay.
Sounds like a
Movie.
street on a pirate island.
So I guess we better
Arr.
go. I think that's about it. Everybody at home, please,
a
if you want
fun
us to
one.
if you want us to review stuff, in the comments below, say WTF Empty Nest or WTF All in the Family or WTF What's Happening. Whatever you want, just put it in there and we'll see what happens. WTF The Ropers. Three's Company. And that's it. Josh and Jen's stuff will be in the description box below. Thank you all so much for joining us. And lastly, this podcast was all about Aix-en-Provence.
This podcast was a like.
Ooh, this podcast was so much fun.
This podcast was a positive experience.
Very good.
Free will.
And everybody at home always, thanks, Josh and Jen. Everybody at home, always remember what Mr. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg likes to remind us to do always.
Always don't forget to remember to register to be an organ donor and think about living donation, donating one of your 2 kidneys to somebody. Maybe it's me, maybe it's somebody else, could be anybody. And also, don't forget to watch the first of things, please.